Gone.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's Open the Book. This is now the last of our stories about Jesus appearing to some of his friends after his resurrection. So I wonder, have you ever noticed that some people just don't ever believe you, whatever you say? If your story perhaps is so exciting, they just don't believe you're telling the truth. And sometimes it's hard to make them believe you, isn't it? Especially when it's something quite unbelievable. But one of Jesus's friends was just like this. Listen carefully, and I want you to tell me what his name was at the end of the story. So let's open the book and let's read. I don't believe it. We were inside the room. We, Jesus's friends, were waiting for a knock at the door. We were so excited we could hardly contain ourselves. I wonder what he'll say.
I wonder what he'll do.
Well, I can't wait to the look on his face when he finds out. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door.
That's him! That's him!
Boy, will he be surprised.
Don't you think we'd better let him in?
So, we opened the door, and into the room came the one we'd been waiting for. It was Thomas, one of the other friends of Jesus. Thomas! Thomas!
Guess what?
It's the best news ever! Thomas looked really confused. The last time he'd been in the room with us, we'd all been sad and crying. Now we were all smiling. And he didn't know what had happened while he'd been out. Thomas! Thomas!
We've seen Jesus!
He's alive! Thomas looked even more confused. Then he said,
I don't believe it.
No, really, while you were out, Jesus appeared here in this room and spoke with us.
It wasn't a ghost or a spirit. It was really him, alive.
He even showed us the holes in his hands. Thomas was silent. He looked confused. Then he looked angry with us. Whatever we were feeling, he felt really sad and upset and very left out. Eventually he said,
I don't believe it. He was dead. How can he be alive again? I tell you what, unless I see for myself where they drove the nails through his hands and touched the place where they stabbed the spear into his side, I won't believe it. I refuse.
and then he stormed out of the room. A week passed. We were all gathered together, including Thomas this time. We were all together in the same room. We'd locked the doors for fear of our enemies. Suddenly, Jesus appeared in the room with us. We gasped in surprise. Jesus looked round at all of us and he said,
Peace be with you.
Then he looked at one of them in particular, one of us in particular.
Thomas, Thomas, here are my hands. You can touch with your finger where the nails went through. Here is my side. You can feel the wounds where the spear went in. It is me. Believe it.
We were all silent. For a moment, Thomas looked confused. Then tears came into his eyes, but not because he was sad. And then a smile began to creep across his face. He looked into the eyes of his friend, the one who'd been dead and was now alive. And in a voice full of joy and wonder, Thomas said,
My Lord and my God.
Jesus spoke to him.
Thomas, Thomas, you believe in me because you've seen me. Let me tell you something. Those who haven't seen me with their own eyes, but still believe, how happy they will be.
What a wonderful story, isn't it? The story of Jesus showing Thomas his hands and his side. Thomas just did not believe that Jesus had been resurrected and risen again. Now, I asked you to tell me his name, didn't I? And I just told you his name, but it was Thomas. So well done if you remembered that. Thomas thought Jesus had gone away forever, but it was a lovely moment, I'm sure, when he got to see Jesus again. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think about how happy you are when you see your friends. I'm sure lots of you have not been seeing your friends and perhaps your families as well over this lockdown time. And perhaps some of you have started to see grandparents and aunties and uncles and friends again. And I'm sure you feel a little bit like Thomas did. You feel happy and excited when you see them. I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, you can say Amen at the end with me. Dear God, just like Thomas, sometimes we find things hard to believe. Help us to know what is true and to believe in it. And we thank you that so many of us are able to see our families and our friends again. Please help us to appreciate them and not take them for granted. Thank you that we're able to have friends and have family get-togethers again outside. Please help us to stay safe as we gradually come out of this time of lockdown. Amen.
Amen.
So thank you to the Open the Book team. As you can see, most of us were in a room all together, but Mr. Yu had a bit of trouble getting his backdrop up, but you have to imagine that he was in the same room as us on our Zoom. Hopefully, we're soon going to be able to see you in real life again. So that's going to be really exciting. In the meantime, have a lovely week, and I hope you've enjoyed today's story. Bye-bye.